Morning, everyone. This is Rethink with Sahar, and we have Wendy Paquette today with us. And she says reality isn't something you wait for, it's something you architect. So, this is about creating reality, rethinking something new. And she says she's a reality architect and dimensional fusion specialist working with high performing humans. That's so great, Wendy. You do not differentiate on any matter. Everybody is a human being. That's
Mhm.
a real great thing. Congratulations for that. It's a big thing. We are not able to talk in human terms or even think in human terms. What made you think in human terms? Like,
uh,
really erasing all differences of a man, of a woman, of whatever, of rich, poor, this and that.
um, it's funny that you ask. Well, I've never even thought about it, to be honest with you. It's not even something I considered a thing. So that's the first time anyone's ever asked me that question. No, it's not something I think about, honestly. We're humans in skin suits with all of the same capacities. So, yeah, it doesn't quite, that never has popped into my mind before.
Oh
So I
wow,
didn't do it.
that's such
Yeah, I didn't do it for a reason. It just is the way it is in my world.
that's such a beautiful thing. That is such a beautiful thing, that you have always thought about and about others in terms of human beings, and that's so beautiful. People don't think like that. People, believe me, they don't.
Oh,
And so, tell me a little about what your perception of the universe or of thought in particular, your own thought is.
my own thought process of or my own thoughts towards the universe.
Yes.
Well, let's see. What a great question. So I look at it more like the multiverse, an infinite space
Wow.
where we exist. And so your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So it's infinite in its capacity, which is why you can reality architect it, why you can create something from whatever it is that's before you to something different.
Yeah, that's so true. And I was going through your website, your web
Mhm.
page, and I'm a bit curious.
Sure.
I want to know, what does this harmonic continuum mean to you? What do you mean by it?
That is the timeline shifting.
I'm sorry?
So it is timeline shifting. So the
Timeline.
harmonic continuum is how we experience our timeline as a being, right? As a human
Oh,
being.
wow.
So we're harmonic in nature, right? We're frequency in motion, which is harmonic. So that we're experiencing the continuum, which is our reality.
Hmm. Great. And how do you, when you work with your clients, how do you say you try to work in multi-dimensional
Mm.
recalibration in a way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because you get to look at your reality from the physical perspective, which is third dimensional,
Mm-hmm.
and then the space of your mental creation where you go into your thought process and you use your imagination, which is obviously not physical, right? So that's more of a space of maybe you would classify that as a fourth dimensional space, and then to the infinite capacity, which is more the fifth dimensional space. So you're working in a multidimensional space, pulling all of that together in order to create your reality.
Hmm. Wow. Multi-dimensional space. I never thought of it in that way, that even imagination was fourth dimension and we were working in another dimension. That's something new to me. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're being literal around or literal in the sense as we experience a physical dimension, that's 3D.
Yeah,
So where does your imagination exist then?
but it does exist.
right? It
Yeah.
exists in a different dimension because it's not actually physical, so it's not 3D. And it has the ability to be whatever it is you want it to be, which is you're using, multi dimensions as you play there.
And how it affects the three dimensions that we already know about.
Yeah, right? We get to utilize that space in order to create in our physical reality.
Yeah. And how, when a client comes to you,
Mhm.
and because I have read very many beautiful reviews about you. So, what is the first question that you usually ask that gets you to know that this is where we need to work together?
Well, usually people come when they feel some type of um, inco- incoherence, I guess, with their reality,
Mm-hmm.
where they think one thing or they want something and they're not experiencing it. And
Exactly.
so I would say the first place I would go with them is asking them what they actually want. What do they want to experience?
Wow. So you try to make a sense of what the reality is for them and
Mm,
what where they want to be and
100%.
what
Mhm.
way they are thinking. Again, a three-dimensional world.
Well, I get, yeah, in that perspective, of course, right? Because they're looking at what they have created so far,
Yeah,
and there's somewhere else they would like to be. So we get to address those aspects, those views.
great. That's beautiful. And we are using a lot of times the term quantum.
Mhm.
And how does it affect the uh, understanding of the quantum thing that everything is possible? That's how I understand. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
right or wrong.
yeah.
And how does it affect your world and your worldview and your client's worldview?
When it comes to what? Just knowing that everything is possible?
Yes.
It's just it's simply that, right? When you know where you are right now, which
Uh-huh.
is really all you have. You only have right now. You have the now of the experience of what you're creating, and so in this now is where you make all the change. So how does it impact the rest of your life or the rest of your viewpoint is we need direction when it comes to where we want to go, not direction from somewhere else, but direction in what are we seeing for ourselves? Where do we want to be?
From within.
So that is direction, right? Or when
Yeah.
we're here and we know, if we know that it's not where we want to be, there must be somewhere else we're aiming at. And that's the direction, like pointing your GPS, right? Where do
Oh,
we want to go? Let's dial in our GPS
everything is
so that we
possible,
know.
but we have to decide what we want.
Yeah, 100%, right? And what you want to experience could impact the rest of your world, right?
Yeah, the road's
From
not
that space.
taken by Robert Frost. There was a. It's about. It's a monologue. It's a very famous poem, one of the most famous in in English literature.
Mhm,
So he says that he's standing on a divergence of roads, and he has to
mhm,
take one,
mm. Yeah,
and he cannot take two at a time, so only one. And
yeah.
what he chose that day has made all the difference that where he's standing today. So whatever choice we make, whatever we choose for ourselves. So what is quantum frequency mapping for you?
Well, that's literally what we're talking about.
Okay,
Making the obvious um, physical, I guess you'd say. So, where do you want to go? And
okay,
addressing where you are, and
uh-huh.
then looking at what you, as a client, what you would believe is in the way of that. And then we begin mapping through that because we're looking at the programming that we have in our mental reality that's
Mm-hmm.
creating the limitations or creating the availability, the infinite capacity to do anything we want to do. So when we address those, we're mapping through all the limitations and the potential.
Wow. Like the other day, I had to apply for a job, and I was like, no, I cannot do it. And then I was like, why can't I learn it? I'll have a few days before the interview. Why not? And that reality was a totally different thing.
Hmm.
What I was thinking earlier to what I was thinking now, it was a completely different thing.
Yeah.
That's what I think is the idea of quantum clarity, and if you're able to clarify yourself, your thought to yourself, isn't it?
Well, it is. If you can identify what you want and then address the things in between that are stopping you from getting there,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I mean, the things that can change because then you can break that down and take one thing at a time that you feel is stopping you and address it. And then move into, and I would say forward for lack of better words, towards what you want.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. And okay, I told you I'm at somewhere, so I'm sorry
Yeah,
for the background noises.
that's okay.
Okay, so talking about this thing, what do you think? Uh, is is everyone capable of doing changing himself or herself,
Of course.
or there has to be some qualities in them?
Well, I mean, everyone has the capacity to change anything they want. And are they limited by their mental programs? Sometimes, but those can also be undone.
Wow, that's interesting to know. Because what I thought was, okay, everyone can change, but then if we are hardwired for something, by our genetics or by our uh, surroundings, so how do we change that? But then,
Yeah. Well, that's a good question because that's where most people get stuck in thinking that their environment or their genetics hold them in place. That's also a program. That's a mental program. If you think that, if you believe that, if you buy into that, then you're buying the mental program that that is true for you. And then your reality must prove it right, must prove it true, which means no matter what you do, it'll keep reaffirming itself.
wow, that's so
So
interesting.
you can undo that by knowing that very thing.
First thing is you have to know yourself,
Well,
what your own
know that
thoughts are.
if you know that you're capable of seeing your own programming, which we are. So, just like you said, if you feel that you're limited by your environment or by your genetics or by your culture, then that's one thing. If you're in it and you're like, yeah, that's it, this is it for me, there might not be a lot of room to be able to take yourself out of that mindset and say, well, that's actually something that's taught for me. And how do I know? Because I could have been born anywhere. I could have been born to any parents. I could have done anything, which means that I literally have the opportunities that everyone else has when I expand my viewpoint as a soul in a skin suit. I could be anything that I choose. And what would that look like when I allow myself to choose something different? So if I thought, okay, well, I'm not limited by my genetics when it comes to,
Mhm.
like, I don't know how that would fit with, maybe moving or doing a different job or anything like that, but let's just say let's change it from genetics to I'm not limited to my environment.
Mhm.
Could I move?
Yeah.
Could I change my environment? Right? Genetics in a lot of ways are limited in themselves and that they're not 100% of everything. We have our own
Exactly.
set of data that's running consistently. So if we're only addressing a very small part of it, how much of that are we giving power to our entire reality when we have, if it's 10%, where's the other 90% just hanging out, right?
Mm.
What if we allowed the other, say, 90%, and I'm just speaking random numbers,
Uh-huh.
if we let the other 90% actually show us something different, what would happen then?
Yeah. And actually, I sometimes think in terms of, like when I say genetics. it's one thing is okay where we are born. The other thing is what we are born with, the information coded into our
Mhm,
genes, the
mhm.
DNA and the RNA, and how they uh, they condition us to be what we are.
Yeah, and imagine, you are not that DNA. You are the source essence of all
Hmm.
that is
Hmm.
expressing itself through the DNA.
Oh wow, that liberates you from so many things,
Well, of course, yeah,
everything.
yeah. So when you know that, then the determination is, do I want to buy the DNA that I was born into? Do I want to
Mhm.
buy that as my only source of data? Or would I
Okay.
like to create my own version of myself here?
So, in a way, you want to say that this physical reality, this body, the
Mhm.
skin suit, as you just said, it's different from what I am, or what you are, or what
Yeah.
anybody is.
Yeah. Yes, and that your the soul's essence of you is having an experience through this physicality, which appears individual because it appears that we each have an individual skin suit, right? So that is the gift. The gift
Mm.
is to know that our individuality is the gold that we're seeking. That is exactly what we're after, is something that's different and unique and valuable, and we all possess that. And that's the way of thinking that changes everything, because now you know, oh, the unity is in the source energy that's expressed through the skin suit. So the uniqueness of us was what makes this so beautiful. And if I can value that in and see that in others, how our world will change.
So, what tradition you follow? Like there is Indian tradition which comes very close to it. There is Buddhist tradition comes so close to it. So, what kind of a tradition? I'm just curious
I
because
don't. In
you don't.
fact, I don't. No, I was raised Catholic.
Hmm.
And then at a very young age, I thought, I'm not really sure I'm digging what they're saying. Like, as far as, some of the ways that they portray how to live, right? It's
Yeah,
very limiting in my perspective,
that's right.
based on the thoughts of, okay, well, if you're a good human, you don't have to be told that you're a good human by following these rules. You just know that you are. And so you don't need someone to enforce rules upon you to remind you that you're a good human,
Hmm.
right? So from my perspective, I was like, yeah, that doesn't really sound like something I need really, right? So I sort of followed my own nose around. I mean, there is no one practice. It's more of a soul's essence knowing that there is more than what we see with our physical eyes. There's more than what we know or allow ourselves to know. And the experience, when you boil it down, is an unconditional love, infinite space. And when you sit in that space, you can see everything so differently. So full of love, so reflective. So you are me and I'm you and I know it. And that I know it means that there's a beautiful gift that resides within you that everyone gets to experience as well. And because of that, it takes away the conflict, because when one is fighting for something, it's because they feel like they don't have
They don't have it.
something. And if they knew that it was a perspective in duality that was
Hmm.
playing itself out,
Hmm.
could they change their viewpoint and see it differently?
Wow. And Mia, like it, the way your life was flowing, at what point of time, or at what in your thought, in your mental space, or in your physical space,
Yeah.
what was that point when you felt that you have other options too? You are not stuck anywhere. You can do what you're doing today.
Yeah. I think Probably the one time I was most felt most limited in understanding how
Mm-hmm.
reality works,
Mm-hmm.
in that my feeling sense, right? My feeling language was showing me that I was maybe sad or
Wow.
frustrated or felt
Mm-hmm.
limited, to the point of this is either going to change something or or nothing. Like not nothing. I'm going to stay here is like nothing. Like this is it. This why would you even want this, right? And there's a part of you inside that knows that the joy is available, and
Mm-hmm.
so if life is creating the lack of joy, then where is the joy, kind of thing, is where you get to that
Exactly.
pressurized moment of, okay, well, this isn't fun and I don't want this. So something gets to change. What is it? Right. And then that occurred for me probably about well over a decade ago.
Oh, great.
And the pressurized piece of I was already, let's say, weird to start with because my viewpoint seemed always different. However, that moment created an experience in my life that changed everything, where I knew that I was everything I was seeing, and my thought processes got to change in order to match that. So the things that I thought outside of me that weren't working and that were causing me to experience limitation became me. And if I am the cause of my limitation when I'm pointing outward and that limitation exists and I'm pointing the finger at it, but I know that that is me, then what changes? How do I get to change that?
Yes.
I change that within. When I change it
Wow.
within, it changes externally and the reflection becomes real. So that
Mhm.
was it. And the second I knew that,
Wow.
everything changed.
That's
Absolutely everything
that's
changed.
a great realization. Not many people have it. They just continue to live the way they are living, happy or sad or whatever way they
Mm,
are. You know.
of course, but and it's only for lack of knowledge, like only because they don't know that they know,
Yes.
right? They keep looking, hunting for something, and unfortunately, it's not found that way. That's why there's in all the traditions, there's a level of practice of maybe prayer or
Mm-hmm.
meditation or something that causes you to be peaceful and go within.
Mm-hmm.
And what they don't always indicate is that that is where the change occurs. Not
Yeah.
because you're practicing something where something outside of you has the power, but you're allowing yourself to access your own power. And in that, the knowledge arrives. So it's an actualization piece of understanding the greatest power that you'll ever know.
I'm touched. No, I believe
It's
in
true.
these things. I do believe in these things because I, to begin with, I'm a bipolar. So
Okay.
that I work on something, I keep on working, 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 and then all of a sudden I'm at the same place again. And
Yeah.
sometimes worse than that.
Yeah.
But then I have never given up. Not
What
really.
a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's thank you. That's what makes what I am. And though I have not been able to be like, if you look at from the worldly point of view, I may not be a successful person. But then I know that I am, and that's what success means to me.
Success is defined differently by every human that looks at it. One
Exactly.
person's view of success is different than another. When you access the greatest gift you'll ever be is yourself, then
That's
you've already won the game.
oh
And
yes,
now it's just and that then it's just about playing in it.
exactly.
Playing in your own game. How much easier could reality be, life be from that perspective?
That's
If everyone knew that their mere presence of being born was the greatest gift the world and themselves were ever given, how much difference would that make in the world with all the conflict?
yeah. Once you
Is
have
that
realized this thing that you are, and you are different from what this reality looks like, and
well, yes, and because what we're seeing, we're being. So if there's conflict, we're being conflictive inside.
yes,
And how the conflict outside changes is the inside must change first.
exactly.
So it's like if you could turn a dial and make the 100th monkey effect
Mm-hmm.
occur around the globe with that very knowing, how would conflict change?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be amazing to see what could occur?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And we are at the way you said that it's our game and we're playing in our game, right?
Mm.
And there is a very beautiful story. It's like there is a bird. There are two birds sitting on the same branch.
Mhm.
One is eating and the other is watching. They're both the same. The one who's eating is a physical self who's uh, down into the world or experiencing the things,
Mhm.
whatever way, the experiencer, and the other one is just a watcher. He's watching from a distance,
Yeah.
and that makes all the beauty happen. Beauty is when you realize that you are able to everything that we see in the camera is so beautiful because we're looking at from others point of view.
Yeah.
What if we make our own eyes that others point of view?
Mhm. Yeah, most certainly.
Yeah,
Right?
so
And if something's not working, then you have the capacity to make that change within and then see the difference outside of you.
yes,
Right? It would take that bird watching one moment of thinking, "Okay, I would like that some of that myself," and experience it, and that changes everything. Or vice
exactly,
versa. I would like to see through someone else's eyes. I mean, the
exactly.
view is everything, and the change is internal.
Change is internal.
Yeah.
That's very true. It begins from here,
Yeah,
from
of
the
course.
heart,
Yeah.
or the mind, or the soul. But these are terms that usually confuse not only me but a lot of people. I'm
Mhm.
sure. What is heart? What is mind? What is soul? What do you think about them?
Yeah, well, I would say my perspective is the heart is a space of identity in unconditional love and a space of creation. We create from there. We experience our emotions
Mm-hmm,
from that space.
mm-hmm.
The mind is more like an ego filing cabinet, which
Okay,
only knows what you've taught it up until today. So
okay.
it reiterates the things you're thinking. So the
Mm-hmm,
mind is the thinking space,
mm-hmm.
right? And what was the other piece you said?
Soul,
Your soul. Yeah, your soul is the infinite aspect of you
infinite.
that allows those two things to have something that's different from one another,
Exactly.
right?
And
So if you pathway those together, right? You're
yes.
born, you have this infinite capacity for all things, which is unconditional love and joy at the highest level. Through your heart center, you are able to create from that space of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind, what if you saw what your mind was saying and thought, that doesn't feel aligned? So we change it because
Change.
we're indicated that we could. Excuse me. And we keep moving about the world in that way. Our infinite self, our soul, is the is becomes consciousness when we have an experience to have. When
Mm,
time and space come together, like the wave becomes a particle, we become the point of change. We become the point of living. We become the point of experiencing.
right.
So sometimes we let the ego brain or mind tell us what to do, but we're the one who taught it that. So if it tells us what to do and we feel out of congruence, we feel out of alignment with that,
Mm-hmm.
that is our mind to change.
Yes, that's right.
And it's the infinite active component of our soul's essence that's giving is animating that
Mm-hmm.
experience that allows us to use the skin suit resonator to feel from the heart center and to think from the ego AI mind
Mm-hmm.
in order to create the reality that we're experiencing. And
Exactly.
each an individual experience because we each have a different resonance in this multiverse. So if we can allow ourselves to know that, then we get to identify the most ultimate experience that we'd like to have
And that's
and
possible.
somehow experience the unified nature of unconditional love
Yes.
and joy, right? But we get to know that first. If we knew that, then we have the opportunity to choose it.
Yeah. But then there is something else also, like another sense is, if I haven't experienced it, how will I know it?
Say that again.
If I haven't experienced it, how will
Yeah.
I know it? But I can know it. I believe what my perspective would be, like, to have others, see others experiencing it.
So when you say it, what do you mean?
It, by it I mean the ultimate joy, the unconditional love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if imagine pick one thing in your world if you have children or if you have a pet. Those are the two spaces, right?
Hmm.
Um, and from that space, say you say you're a child. So of course a child doesn't have a child. So a child might have a kitten or a puppy and
Hmm.
be like completely blissed out playing in the joy with a puppy.
Yeah.
Then one knows that feeling of unconditional love, right? So we all have the capacity to know that. So
That.
it's not outside of our realm. It's not something that we haven't touched yet. It's something that exists. And so we just get to look at points where we're like, "Oh yeah." Right? We've all
Mhm.
experienced it. It's just allowing ourselves to know that we can run on that fuel, right?
Thank you so much for your insightful conversation. And it was really, really great talking with you. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you for being here. And guys, we'll see you again on next Saturday at the same time, 11 a.m. EST. Thank you until then. Bye bye.
Thanks for having me.